Hey there. Bet you thought you'd seen the last of me. That's awful. Hey, it's Justine again. I'm back. For the first time in like 10 months. So, I have returned to YouTube to discuss the book Gearbreakers. It came out pretty recently, I think. It's actually been on my TBR for like an entire year. Yeah, an entire year. Executive summary time. So, Gearbreakers is set in a dystopian world. If you've watched Pacific Rim, it's basically Pacific Rim, but gay. I guess to fight like wars, countries have created wind-ups slash meccas. They have many names, and I have forgotten most of them. So we'll just call them meccas, because that's the coolest out of the names. So yeah, cool. So they've created mechas, which are basically like giant robots that humans can pilot by sitting in them, and they like move around, and the robot moves around accordingly. And that's basically like the crux of the story. So main girls, Sona is a pilot. Yes, we're gonna call them pilots. So Sona is a pilot who is a soldier for the. I'm sitting on a beanbag. Maybe you can hear the beanbag noises. Who works for the mecha people. There's a lot of vocab here that I don't know. So basically, she pilots the mechas. But secretly, she's there like for revenge or something. She actually doesn't like them, and she's like infiltrating their ranks to like kill them, question mark. I don't know. So Sana's there, and second girl, Eris, she is a Gearbreaker, roll credits. So she basically, with her crew of her ragtag team, her lovable scamps, they get in a car and they like go to the mechas, and they like climb up them, and they get inside, and they like kill them from the inside. Those are the two girls, and they eventually meet, and they gotta take down the mecha people. Cool. Good setup. Thank you. I did a good job with that. No, I didn't. That was bad. Okay. I have a lot of thoughts about this book, which is why I'm making this video. Cool. So I filled out 5 pages in this journal, completely dedicated to my thoughts on Gearbreakers. So we're gonna roll with it. So let's start with the things I liked, because I did like things about this. Opening scene with Eris, I enjoyed. Basically, Eris wakes up and she's the leader of her team of Gearbreakers, and she's like, let's go kill mechas. And they're all like teenagers, right? So they're like hyped. They're like going out in their Jeep. They're like, yeah, they're just so hyped. I love it. It's so like adventurous. It's so cool. You're like, I love these people already. It's a vibe. Yeah. Another thing I liked Eris and Sana's relationship. I'm gonna call her Sana. I hope it's pronounced Sana. I thought they were adorable. They were cute. That was a good thing. I liked the Asian representation. I liked how Eris was, I think, Korean, but it was like a really casual Korean. Like, I think a lot of books, when they have people of color main characters, a lot of their character is like, a lot of their personality is based off the fact that they're a person of color, and they're like, I'm a person of color and I'm gonna do this. But Eris, probably because it's like in a dystopian world, Eris is just like chill, you know. Not that like you wouldn't be chill if you were like one of those types of people of color, but like Eris is just existing as a Korean main character, and I love her for that. And I think we need more like Asian slash any type of person of color character who's just there, you know, who's just a cool character by their own right. So yeah, those are like, there's probably more. This book was enjoyable. That's something I enjoyed. And I got through pretty fast in like 2 days. So that's cool. Those are probably the only things I liked about it. No, that I don't know, because I liked it. I enjoyed reading it, but as I was reading it, I was like constantly thinking about things that I didn't like about it. I don't know. We'll talk about the first thing, which is probably like one of the biggest things. So on the cover, I don't have the book with me right now because I returned to the library a while ago, but on the cover it says, um, the only way to kill a god is from the inside. So you're like, oh, a god. You realize a lot throughout the book that when they talk about the meccas, they refer to them as gods, like in a metaphorical sense, which at first I was like all right with, but the more I thought about it, the more it makes like zero sense. Because like realistically, if say like the US were to develop like a giant robot thing that killed people, would people like refer to them as gods? Like there's nothing supernatural about them. They're completely man-made and man-piloted, and you know it. It's not like it's a mystery. Like, where did these things come from? Where did these powerful, destructive things come from? Like, I get it if they like showed up one day and no one knows anything about them, but like everyone knows that they're just big robots. Like, would you be calling big robots gods if they exist in real life? Probably not. So it's just like the entire crux of the book is kind of defeated when you really start thinking about it, and you're like, they aren't gods. Like nobody would be thinking that they're gods. Like why would you call them gods? It makes no sense. It's like they're gods in the way that they're like not they're like stronger than humans. I don't know. I'm trying to justify this, but I simply can't. It's just bad. It's not good. And to add on to that, like if you watched my February book wrap up from last year, I read a book called Bonds of Brass, and in that they give their dystopian characters like new curse words. The characters in Gearbreakers also get like new curse words. But okay, so instead of saying like god damn, they say god's damn, or like oh my god, they say oh my gods. And also with hell, they say what the hells? So that's kind of weird. First of all, it doesn't really roll off the tongue as much. And also, like, there's a reason we say goddamn, because there's like one God. I'm not religious. It's like there's in Christianity there is one God, so we say oh my God. you know what I mean? Like it's mainly believed that there is one God, so we say like oh my God. I should have educated myself more on this before I start talking about it, but like you know what I mean. And we say what the hell, because there's one hell, and I don't think that many people think that there are multiple hells. So I'm like, okay, oh my gods, like why do they think that there are multiple gods? So I was like waiting for them to introduce like a new religion where they're like where like polytheism has like come back or whatever. Not that it's not like present right now. What am I talking about? Like basically I'm waiting for a new religion or something, or like a new belief. And there isn't one. So I'm like, oh, so they mean like gods damn, as in like multiple gods, because the mechas are gods. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Why would they do that? The mechas are obviously not gods. And it's so forced, it's so bad, and they talk about it so often that every time they talk about it, you're just like internally cringing, because you're like, they're trying to like make it more dramatic, give it more meaning, because it like sounds a lot better when you say like, oh, these Gearbreakers, they're fighting gods, instead of like these Gearbreakers are fighting giant man-made robots, But like, why would you change God to gods? Like, you could just say god damn, it's fine. No one's gonna be out here saying god's damn. Okay, god's damn. Who says that? God's damn. But that like still doesn't explain the hell thing. Like, why are there multiple hells? There has been no mention of multiple hells. Why would anybody say, oh, what the hells? Like it just not as smooth, I don't know. That was a dumb thing. Dumb thing number 2. Well, I guess that was like 2 dumb things, but we'll call it one dumb thing because I'm feeling generous. The writing of the action sequences especially is just a very confusing time. which is bad because the majority of this book is action sequences. Not like the majority. Probably like over 25% of this book is action sequences. Like it opens, not like in Eris's first chapter is an action sequence, and like I was immediately confused, but like I was willing to like forgo this confusion because I was having like a good time, because it is a good time. Okay, there's just something inherently entertaining about reading about like a bunch of teenagers like fighting big robots. Okay, that's another good thing about this book. But let's go back to the bad thing. It's very hard to tell what's going on. You know, you're like, they pull up in their car next to the robot. It's really tall. You're like, okay, I'm following. They get out of the car. They like climb up the robot, question mark. They like get into it, you assume. They're in the robot. What does the inside of the robot look like? It's hard to tell. You don't really know what it looks like. I'm gonna go off on a tangent a bit right now, but like if you've ever watched the kids TV show on PBS Kids, Cyber Chase, this is going in a really good direction. If you've ever watched Cyber Chase on PBS Kids, there is an episode where the crew realizes that Hacker is sick. So Hacker like has a fever or something. Hacker's the villain. So they're programming a little robot to feed to Hacker, and it'll go inside Hacker's robot body because Hacker's like a robot, right? The little robot will go inside Hacker's little robot body, and it's like programmed to do the right steps to put in the little chip that'll make Hacker good. So they feed it to him through his chicken noodle soup, and it like goes into his body, and it looks like a shopping mall in there basically. It doesn't really look like a shopping mall, but there's like ramps and stuff, and like there aren't stairs, but there's like bridges, and it's like pipes, I guess. Yes. Every shopping mall I've ever gone to has bridges and pipes. No, okay, but like it looks just like the indoor of like a building, right? So I was kind of imagining the inside of a mecha to look like the inside of Hacker's body in that one Cyber Chase episode. Cool, Justine. Thanks for telling us that, of course. So, you don't really know what the inside looks like, so I just kind of assume that she's like walking around on like bridges and stuff. I don't know. There's like guards inside the mecha body, so they like gotta fight the guards inside the mecha body. So you're just like, okay, so you're like a little bit confused, but you're like going with it. And what gets even more confusing is something really weird that happens at the end. It's just like a weird thing. Like Eris is suddenly mad at Sana. Am I spoiling? Okay. Vague, very vague spoilers. Eris is suddenly mad at Sana, and you're like, huh? Like somebody pushes someone and they fall somewhere, and you're like, where were they originally? I don't know, it's just, you don't really know what's going on, right? You're just kind of there for like the dialogue, you know? The dialogue is pretty good. I'll give it that, you know? There's good drama, but like you don't really know where the characters are, or like what they're doing at the moment, where they end up, why they're suddenly mad at each other when like it seems like nothing much has changed. And I like read it back a few times too. I was like, what? And I still don't know what happened, so if someone could explain that to me, like what the heck happened at the end, that'd be great. Thanks, guys. I think the action sequences could have been written better. Maybe like a slower, more concrete description of the inside of a mecha, you know? Maybe like a comparison so that dumbasses like me can understand what the heck they're talking about. So that was dumb thing number 2. Dumb thing number 3, the very extreme and unnecessary abundance of side characters. I think this is a problem that I have with like a lot of books, especially romances, because romances, you know, you really only care about like the 2 main characters, but then obviously they need friends, so you're like, here's some friends, and usually you give them like 1 or 2. But like, this book has so many side characters. So Sana, every time I say her name, I think I'm like talking about like a sauna, like a steamy room. Okay, but Sana, we're gonna say her name like that. Okay, so why was this taking me so long? So Sana starts the book in like the mecha. What is the place called? It's a city, okay? The mecha place, the mecha city, right? like with her fellow mecha pilots. They're like the bad guys kind of, but you kind of this is a good thing, you know? It's good that she has like friends in this compound or like at least characters in this compound so you can kind of be like, "Oh, they're not all bad." You know, she's chilling with them. She's not having a good time cuz she's very full of hatred, but like they're like chilling, I guess. I don't know. So it kind of like humanizes them. So it's like that's good. But the problem is there's so many people. They're like in the mecha compound, which by the way, Sana only spends like less than 25% of the entire book there. There are like 5 different characters and you're like that's not that many. But like we don't have that many pages to like meet all of them, you know? They're like Rose, the nice one, that blonde girl, the mean one who like doesn't like her, that one guy who hit on her, the creepy mentor, the one love interest guy of the nice girl. It's like just too many people, you know? And you're like, oh, they're gonna like matter, but like not really, you know? You like you kill a couple of them and then you're like, oh, I feel bad, and then you can just kind of like move on. But it's just so many people over there, and you're like, okay, you know, it's just in one of the 5 characters is fine. And then you get to Eris's side things, which is even more convoluted. I mean, to be fair, you do spend more time with these people, but there are just so many. Let me try to count them. Okay, so there's Juniper, who's like weapons specialist, along with Arson. I'm not kidding. This man's name is Arson, Arsen. Also a weapons specialist, like a bombing, an explosive Juniper and Arson are the explosive specialist people. His name is Arson. I can't get over that. Arson. Okay. So you're like, okay, they have 2 explosion specialist people, but like that's fine. Nava the driver, Xander the innocent child, Theo the sniper man, Milo the other sniper man, and Eris. So that's like 7 people in the crew. How do 7 people even fit in their Jeep? How many seats does this Jeep have? I don't know. I'm probably missing someone. Let me hold up. Okay, yeah, I got everyone. So there's 7 people on Eris's side, including Eris, and there's like 6 people on Sana's side, including Sana. That's like 13 characters to remember. And we're not even including like Jenny and Voxter or whatever the hell that guy's name was. I know, there are like a lot of people. And you're like, a lot of them are so redundant, you know? They serve very, very minor roles. Like, Juniper did not need to exist. Okay, I know she had like cool green hair, whatever. Whack her. We don't need Juniper. We don't even need Arson. You know what? When we whack Juniper and Arson, let's pretend that Theo is a Milo. Let's pretend that Theo is the explosive specialist and Milo is the sniper man and Xander is the innocent child because we need an innocent child, and Nava is the driver. And now that's 5 people. 5 people fit in a relative in like a regular car. So like that's good. 5 people. That's like a good amount of people to remember, including Eris. Sana, we could whack. Sana's side, we could whack Rose's love interest. That guy who hit on her randomly. Yeah, let's just keep Rose and the mean girl. And maybe the mentor figure. Yeah, and then we only have like less than 10 characters to memorize, which is like pretty decent, you know? It's just so many people, and I feel kind of bad because you can tell that the author probably spent like a lot of time like thinking about all these characters. They all mean a lot to her, you know? But also you're like, you gotta make some sacrifices. You can't have 7 people in this Jeep that we're supposed to care about like every single one of them. Like we can't. There are just too many people, and none of them, only like 3 of them serve like a real purpose, so they don't need to be there. Let's get rid of them. Also, Milo was annoying. Oh, sorry. We're moving on to the next point. So that's the end of the point 3. 4th dumb thing. Milo was annoying, but in like a bad way. You know, like everyone, I feel like a lot of YA authors, especially these days, are trying to create like the next Umbridge, you know? Like, you want a character in your story that everybody hates, but like they're not the main bad guy, you know? Like, let me think of an example. Like, Chain of Gold / Chain of Iron, like Cassandra Clare, Charles, Fairchild, and that one, no one likes Charles, and that's kind of the point, you know? You're supposed to hate him. He has, like, 0 redeeming qualities. He's a bad guy. But, like, he's not, like, evil, you know? So they have like Milo for this one, but Milo is so in the wrong all the time. There's almost like no point. Like nobody likes you, Milo. Everybody has made it clear that nobody's going to listen to you. Everybody hates you here. Like what are you trying to accomplish? At this point, you're just being annoying for the sake of being annoying, you know? Like it just doesn't even make sense anymore. Like, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to rally the reader against this one character so they can be hyped when he eventually gets what's coming to him or whatever. But like, no, I don't care about Milo. Dolores Umbridge in Harry Potter is scary because she has like power. She's like the administrator or whatever. Like she can make new rules. She can be like an actual inconvenience, you know? But Milo's just like Eris's ex-boyfriend. He's just kind of like there. He doesn't rank higher than Eris. Actually, he's like lower than Eris. Like he like tries to randomly kill Sana, and you're like, no, he's not actually gonna do it. Like, or like he's too stupid to actually like go through with it. I don't know, and like it kind of ruins his character because in the beginning he's like actually a nice, loving boyfriend. You know, he's like he has like emotions and stuff. Sorry, why are those my requirements for like a boyfriend? But like he seems like a nice dude, and then Sana comes in, and you're like, we need the annoying character, bring in the annoying character, and suddenly Milo's like the worst person in the history of the universe, and you're like, it probably wouldn't like change his character that much just because he dislikes this one person, you know? Like, it makes no sense. Why? We don't need a Milo. We can redeem Milo, okay? And not in like a annoying forced way. We can just do like, we can do a Alec Lightwood. Sorry, referring to Cassandra Clare books again. Like, when Milo initially hates Sana and then comes to realize that, you know, Eris likes her and that should be fine for him, and he becomes a nicer person through that, you know? It's fine. We don't need he doesn't have to be a Charles Fairchild. He can just be a normal character who acts like a normal guy and doesn't he's like the punching bag, you know? He just shows up at inconvenient times and he's like, Sana's bad, she's the enemy. And then everybody's like, shut up, Milo, go away. And then he does because he's outnumbered like 1-8, you know? Hey, so editing Justine here. I forgot a point. So, point 5. There is a lot, like a crazy amount of vocab in this book. So I alluded to that in the beginning when I was like, wind-ups, meccas, I forgot what the heck they're called. Okay, so they're called meccas. But why would you give them a second name when you already have so much vocab? Like, at the end, this guy comes in who's like a zenith. Is that like, you don't know who zenith is, so like, why would that be a spoiler? I don't even know who zenith is. This guy comes in and like, someone's like, it's a zenith. And I'm like, what the heck is a zenith? Nobody's ever said that. Well, maybe somebody has, but like, what is that, okay? Sorry, I can't remember what the heck a zenith is. And also, within the group of like mechas and wind-ups, there's like a bunch of subcategories. There's like, what are they called? Valkyries. Okay, Valkyries? I thought that was the name for the pilots at first, but it's like the name of a type of mecha. I don't know, there are just so many names for these mechas, and it doesn't seem like that many. Like, Justine, why are you complaining? That's not a lot of vocab. But like, when you start reading, and they keep introducing all this new vocab to you, and you're like, okay, I'm already so confused because there are like 18 side characters. I can't deal with this. Like, it's just so much vocab. Like, the author, bless her heart, okay, this is no hate towards the author. I think she's pretty cool. Like, she clearly had, like, this huge, really fleshed out idea of what this world was going to be. That's why she had so much vocab. But, like, girl, I can't keep track of this. It's so much vocab. And I was like, okay, that's fine, you know. And since they have so much vocab, that means there's going to be an index in the back that I can flip to and refer to when I'm confused about a word. So I'm, like, going to the back, I'm, like, looking for my index or whatever, and it's not there. There is no index of, like, vocab words, which is so weird. Like, I'm okay with that amount of vocab words if you include an index. Actually, I'm still not okay with that amount of vocab words. That's ridiculous, okay? Just call it like, I don't know. They don't need to be wind-ups and mechas. Also, why is it that when the pilots are plugged in, it's called being wound? They're like, we're gonna wind it up because it's a wind-up. And what does that have to do with anything? When I get it if you like push a button or you like like if you're like actually winding it up and then it goes and does things on autopilot, but like no, that has nothing to do with winding anything up. You're going into it and you're like piloting it. That's like the opposite of winding something up. I just spit. That was so gross. But like what does that have to do with winding things up? How are you being wound when you're getting into the giant robot to pilot the giant robot? It has nothing to do with anything. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, editing Justine out. Enjoy the rest of the video. I really like gone into this, girl. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the book, okay? I will be reading the sequel, God Slayers. I'm actually looking forward to it. It's coming out in June. Get it? Because June's Pride Month, and it's gay. So those are my thoughts on the book. I think on Goodreads I gave it like 3 stars, which like, Justine, it seemed like you hated this book so much. Why would you give it 3 stars? That's just how I work, okay? I enjoy a book, and then after I enjoy this book, I start writing down everything I hated about it. It's just the way of things, okay? So cool. Thanks so much for watching. I'll try to like post regularly, like once a month maybe. I won't be posting once a month. No, I'll post once a month. That's easy. I'll do that. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more fun and really interesting content such as this. See you next time, or in like a year. Depends on what I feel. Okay, bye.